reigning Stahleck Champion. Hello, Wilco.
Hi Ben, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good as well.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, I'm quite excited about this deck. Obviously, it's no disrespect to other people I've had on, but sometimes, we bring decks on, they've done well, but we kind of know the archetype. If someone had told me Stark Lion was going to win Stahleck, I'd have said, are you sure? It's a bit nuts.
Yeah.
If someone said a Stark deck was going to win that doesn't have Rob, doesn't have Eddard, doesn't have Cat, has very few of the staple Stark cards, I'd have said, you even madder. But, Wilco, how did you come up with this, and why?
I know what you mean. To be fair, in the first few iterations of the deck, it did have Catelyn and Rob.
Oh, okay.
But I eventually cut them for more low-cost chuts, and like the Ember Loyalists were not in the first version of this. And they are definitely needed. But I came up with it when I won the Harrenhal Alt Art card. In some small store championship event or something. And I was like, I want to make a deck around this. And then, well, I was playing around with it, the Lenny Wolf style and the Stark Lion style, and the Stark Lion was way better because of Wyman.
Yeah, he's pretty good, especially when you're sacrificing your own characters a lot, which you will be with this. Yeah, he's we were kind of talking about it last night on an episode you guys will be hearing next week. He's kind of the card that really elevated Stark back into the top of the tournament scene.
He definitely did, yeah. He's everything you need.
And yeah, so you can see, especially when you're having this kind of themed deck, it'd be better to go with the Stark main house package than the Lannister package, because obviously Lannister's a little bit suffering at the moment, shall we say?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So obviously, you had Harrenhal, and the other thing that kind of makes me happy with this is I remember when this card was spoiled at Harrenhal, and I said, "Oh yeah, I can find a Bolton deck," and I got laughed at. But obviously now, I think Ramsey and obviously I'm assuming here Stagos mostly for that horrible combination.
Yeah, definitely. I built this deck before Skagos came, and then Skagos was like, "Oh, this is automatically slotted in."
Only two of those. That just not quite as important as just the Harrenhal and the other locations.
Yes, you can do without Skagos.
So obviously you got a Harrenhal, which is the main thing of the deck. So obviously, what are the main cards you're looking to use with Harrenhal?
Well, Ruse is the first that comes to mind. And if you do not have Ruse, you can set up like a nice march to the wall in the challenge phase, which is also really good. Then you have the Hound if you just want to have a cheap, efficient body. Or you can jump in the Bolton Flayers if absolutely necessary.
So, does the Bolton Flare trigger before the Harrenhal interrupt then?
Yep,
Brilliant.
It does.
I figured it probably did, but it's one that I always get the when, at, until.
This one is a forced interrupt, so definitely before.
So it has to be for brilliant. Okay, so obviously, and then obviously you can do Ramsey mid challenge as well, which is always amusing.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing, kind of. You're just basically getting around the problem of Harrenhal, because obviously the problem of Harrenhal, obviously your character dies at the end of the play, but every character that you're trying to bring in, except for the Bolton Flare, won't be there at the end of the challenge phase anyway, so you don't really mind. And even the Bolton Flare, if he's there, he dies in the challenge phase, he's probably killed someone on the other side anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And you can do a lot of fun tricks with the Hound and Harrenhal as well.
And also, you're flea bottom as well, so the Hound, I'm assuming you're basically never actually paying for the Hound.
Or maybe 1 gold.
1 gold, yeah. 1 gold a turn. I'll pay that for the Hound, if I'm honest.
Yeah. And you can use him like 3 or 4 times around if you have a lot of money.
Yes, if you have a lot of money, Harrenhal and one in the discard pile,
Yep.
you're pretty much laughing. Obviously, you've also got the other brilliant card in this one, I think, is just Ward, because and I think I did that on the stream where I warded their Chud and then made them sacrifice someone good.
Yeah, that's that.
Because, you know, and I've also done that with Stark as well. It's a staple card. I find Wards, though, is that card that's starting to infuriate a lot of opponents.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Because it's one of the cards you're now starting to hear on these people going, we need to ban, should be restricted. I disagree. Just
it's gonna rotate out.
Exactly, at some point.
Especially as most of this deck will rotate out.
Yes, that's the thing. About a year or so. It's weird. Rotation's weird. A game without Valor is going to be weird unless they reprint it at some point.
They probably.
I imagine they will. Another one, Last Heath. So obviously, I assume this is mostly there for Roos.
Yeah, for Roos mostly, but also just to win challenges. You want to win challenges.
And the thing that surprised me with this deck, sort of taking a step back a second, is actually how resilient it is to actually a bad start.
Yep.
So I think one of the guys, was playing against Targ, and the guy had complete board dominance. I think about turn 2 or 3, reset the board, and then from that point onwards, because of Ramsey, because of Roos, he could never get the board refilled. And it doesn't. I don't have about 2 characters doing challenges a turn, but when they can't do challenges because you just sacrificing their characters, killing their characters, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So you also got Sale and Pain as well to really maximise this whole killing the cheap stuff to maximise the Roos and the Ramsey as well.
Yes.
And
I think I've managed to clear 4 characters off the board in the first marshalling round.
The other one I did wonder as I first saw this, you haven't got the was it the Maester, the Dreadfort Maester, is it?
No.
Did you test with him at all?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I had more efficient characters too bouncing with her.
Is it just? I assume. Well, the main obviously reason for him to up your military claim, but I guess you also have to sacrifice him, then you don't win, and Winter's Coming just does the same job.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And most of the times you want, if you have Roos or that one in your hand, you're like, oh, I definitely will use Roos. Or if you have Ramsey, you'll definitely use Ramsey.
Yeah, that's fair. Looking at the things though, so you still got one. You got one of each area. Is that just
no, not the 4-cost area.
Oh, sorry. You know what? I actually forget she exists. I usually think she's a card. I've never seen anyone actually use her. Of course, yeah. So one of the core and the latest one, the from the Faith Militant, the no saves while standing. I assume this is flexibility, and also obviously the core area Stark is just a good card.
Really good stealth.
Stealth and a save for doing nothing. But I assume the other one's there so to make sure the Valor goes off if you need to really clear the board.
There's no Valor, but mostly
of course there's Valor.
Mostly to get the Roos off.
To get the Roos, because obviously you choose someone, then you want them to die. Of course, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, only one of Bran. I guess you. Not seeing that important.
I wanted to have 2, but I couldn't cut anything.
Okay, and then obviously you've got Nightmares on the Stick, which is free mirror, which again because of all the sacrifice tech, she's going to be jumping in and out of shadows.
Yes.
Yes.
And she's 3 of. I saw them as 2 of in most Dark builds, but I was like winning my matchups every time when I saw Mira, so I was like, yeah, she's definitely 3 of.
Fair enough, because that was one thing I was actually going to ask, is whether if you wanted another Bran, was it worth maybe getting rid of a Mira for another Bran?
No. I don't think events are that much of a problem, and characters are.
It is amazing how these things change, where Bran was it's been an automatic 3 of in Stark decks for so long. And now he's just. I think we see most Dark decks now dropped him down to 2 of, especially with Summer coming in and out so much these days. You can get him from your discard pile or even dead pile.
Yep.
Without too much issues. Obviously, we talked about the two Boltons that kind of are the linchpins of the deck. Really.
Yep.
Obviously, some pain. Obviously, Summer, you've got a lot of cheap characters. He's just great. I guess you could even get some Bolton Flares back if you need to.
No, we cannot.
No, you
They are
cannot.
strength.
Free strength, sorry. You are correct. But yeah, obviously, assume there's Mirror Reed, Aya, the main targets for that.
Yeah, just some stewards or
Or Stuarts.
well, anything, but mostly Mirror.
And was it the one of Wood as well? Was that again just Ruse to try and maximise Ruse, or was it just because it's a fairly useful card to jump in?
It's a useful card. I needed 12 Lannister cards, so.
You needed 12 times. You didn't fancy a third Tommen then?
And then it was also the Ruse boost.
Ruse.
So. And it definitely helps against the Free Folk matchup. If you manage to get it versus Rattleshirts.
Yes. I've been using Rattleshirts a lot myself recently. He's a bit good, especially now we've got that new wildling that can stand him. Yeah, that's so yeah. 2 Rattleshirts a turn is very good if you can't tech for that. I assume Tommen's just here reading it. He's just really there because King of the North is a card, and that completely shuts this whole deck down for a turn.
Yeah, I cannot do shit.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I know there's a lot of arguments about King of the North. I personally like it, but I can see the frustration when, you know, if you don't tech for it, it can just shut it, and your deck relies a lot of triggers and abilities like that. It's yeah, it can be quite frustrating.
I do not really like it, but
No,
it's one of those cards you have to deal with. So
yeah. Then
just frustrating that Martel has no real opportunity to deal with it.
It is the awkward thing where you do have, I mean, obviously, where some factions just don't have kings. I mean, it may. Don't want to go too far into it, but the one thing I think that could have fixed it is if it said king or prince, and they'd give him Martel access to princes.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Because they would be their kings if they weren't called princes.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that opens up a cold can of worms and probably doesn't make it very, very good then, because there'd be too many other princes. I guess you could argue. I don't know. Just having a quick look at the plots then before we kind of go back into look at matchups. Obviously, Force March is just a fantastic plot you're seeing pretty much most decks these days.
Yeah.
You know, basically Filthy Accusation but better. Really.
Exactly. And you have a lot of cheap military icons. So.
Yeah, exactly, and so the amount of damage you can do sometimes with just nearly, I'm going to nail all my chuds and all your big guys are knelt. Fantastic. Close call, because I'm assuming this is like if it goes wrong on the Harrenhal and Roose or Ramsay gets killed or something.
Yeah, or just to get Summer back in your Flea Bottom pile.
Summer back, yeah. March to the wall, because once if you almost clear the board again, or if you the other one, obviously I've seen people do this, down to 2 characters, you march, go first, and then you Roose, so you Ramsay's your first action.
Yep. Yes.
Again, just helping clear that board. Trade routes, money, because you will need it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Trading with the Pentoshi. So when I was using this, that's the one card, that's the one plot I sometimes found I didn't want it. There were some games I needed it, and there were some games I didn't really want it. I don't know if you found with that.
Yeah, I usually opened with it if I couldn't force March or March to the wall. Because you just need a lot of money to get Harrenhal and Wyman or Ilyn Payne or something out in turn 1.
Yeah.
It sometimes backfired, but it's also good to against Stahleck Dark matchup. I just let them flood the board for the first 2 turns, then force march them, and then follow the Harris them, so they would not have any cards left anymore. And then after that, you could just attrition them out.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you obviously the Valor has the next one, so it's something I used to do a Greyjoy a lot when Valor sort of first hit the board. I'd play trading, they'd play loads of characters, then I'd just Valor next turn.
Yeah.
Or a turn later, and I would have more saves than them most likely.
Yeah, and if I get my locations out, I usually win with just pure value from Flea Bottom and Harrenhal and stuff.
And Valor Daharis over normal Valor?
Yeah, I was definitely happy with it because I was fearing a lot of Greyjoy, and against Greyjoy, Valar Morghulis does not really cut it.
No, I've had against Greyjoy, I have had it backfire where it just makes their Valor better if I do it too early, and if I hold, and then eventually if they do it and I've kind of survived, I don't really want to play my one necessarily. So and obviously win or you die. Obviously, it's the closer.
It's a great turn 6 play or turn 8 play as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The one that I've done that a few times. You play at turn 6. Yes, you lose your hand, but then you play whatever turn 7, and then turn 8. You know you're drawing back up again anyway.
Yep.
And you put that pressure back on.
And 2 clay.
Yeah, 2 clay. I mean that's the amount of games with wildlings that has been the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. So talking about matchups, and you have mentioned wildlings. What's the worst matchup for this deck?
I think it's Greyjoy.
Greyjoy, is that because of the location control?
Yeah. Basically, and I do not like Fanatics.
No, I can imagine. Yeah, Drownguard Fanatic. You trigger your Ramsey, you sacrifice him, and then they go nope.
Or Ruse.
Yeah. And that's been a really strong card for. Really strong card. Anything do you just have to try and clear their board before the Drownguard Fanatic can really make a difference?
Yeah, you have to like pull through the triggers. Like if they do it once, you can handle that. But if they do it like 3 times in a game, you probably lose.
And is there any other bad matchup? I mean, obviously we've seen a lot of like Martel Wolf a lot recently. Is that kind of because this is kind of like the same idea as a Martel Wolf deck, really?
Yeah.
In that you are trying to attrition your opponent's board down and just eventually get them down so they can't really do anything.
That's the gist.
Yeah. Is it so when you've kind of got another deck that's doing the same thing? Is the fact your ability to retain your characters easier? Like obviously the Hound is constantly jumping back in and out of hand.
Yeah, Harrenhal really helps there because they cannot Frozen Solid it, and the Hound. Usually their win condition is like killing your Hound by like ho-tying it when you Harrenhal it or something. And otherwise, you have to see your Frozo before they do.
Yeah.
And Frozo their Flea Bottom.
And I see also here you said you're lucky enough not to see any barring the gates. Obviously, so this is the one thing that I would worry about this maybe necessarily going forward is that with the Shadows agenda coming so popular, barring the gates I think could be a lot more of a common card.
Yeah, I was definitely afraid of it.
It's something I've been considering as a 2 of in some decks I've been coming up with as to really leverage that. No, you can't just jump stuff in and out when you want. And when I think the last time Lannisters were really top, were a very good deck, and Harrenhal decks, or Lannister decks really.
Oh yeah.
We're using Harrenhal were quite common. I was doing a Stark deck which had 2 barring the gates in, and if I saw Harrenhal go down, I pretty much knew I'd won the game because they spent all that money, and then there's going to be 2 turns where they couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'd apologise. But
it's fair.
I mean, that's when like Tinder Marge had first hit the meta big time as well. So there was other effects I was stopping, but in particular, it was it did help.
Yeah, I think if you can run barring the gates, you should right now.
Yeah, especially if you're a bit limited on location control, because it can also obviously shut down Flea Bottom as well.
Yep.
Cool. Okay then. Well, anything else to discuss about the point you want to make about the deck before we jump on to the Iron Throne?
No, I don't think you have really any questions about the other locations or events. Or
a lot of it's pretty. I mean, at this point, a lot of it's straightforward. I mean, if you don't know what Flea Bottom's doing, guys,
you should run 3 of them.
Yeah, you should be running them, or you need to run something to not run it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Obviously, Northern Armory. Actually, that's one thing I was going to ask. So, Northern Armory, I could see this. Is this kind of? I mean, obviously, it's a good card. But it's one of the reasons behind this that you can, if like Roos, you jump in Roos and you get stopped on the intrigue, let's say, you can then stand them up and have another go with the military instead.
Yeah.
Just,
For example, it's just a good card.
Yeah. It is pretty good. Although I've got to start remembering not to stand mine up.
Exactly. Yeah, I've done that loads of times.
Yeah.
Even Stahleck, I think, and I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't do this.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones I've seen with this recently was using Cohort to put a what's the attachment, bestow attachment?
Frozen.
Frozen. Sorry, with the other one as well. What is it? You put gold on it.
Yeah, I know which one you mean.
I can't remember its name. Seized by the guards.
Oh yeah.
So you put seized by the guards on it, so it stands, and then in the next turn you then get rid of the attachment using Cohort.
Yeah.
To then do something else. Yeah, it's quite a nice little use just to get some double uses out of it. It's that's an agenda to play more. But cool. Okay, guys. Well, there you go. That's kind of the deck there. Obviously, it's on Thrones DB. No, Thrones. Thrones DB. It's the current top Stark deck. Funny enough, having won a big-ish tournament.
Big-ish.
Big-ish. Yeah, might be the biggest tournament in the world each year, but I recommend giving it a go. As one of the things here, and we didn't touch on this. This is not a deck you can pick up straight away and start winning with. You need to play a few games and you need to make mistakes, which I definitely did in my first couple of games of this deck.
Yeah, definitely.
Which was off stream, and even on the stream, I was making some mistakes. But you definitely it's something once you get I think how the pieces go together, it's a lot easier to use. But it's definitely a deck that needs reps. But cool. Okay, well, guys, come back for part 2, where we will be on the Iron Throne, and Wilco will be telling me how to use the deck better than I can.
I'll try.